We are starting into the last quarter of 2024 and I want to show you what I did in quarter 3. So, as always, we have our focal languages. Our focus languages are here for us to remember on what language we want to work primarily. So we had Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. Q3 stayed the same. Q4 will also stay the same for the moment. And yeah, so that's everything for focus language, and we're starting right into Japanese goals. My Japanese goals, I had 4, and the first was to have 150 hours of listening. You see, I didn't listen too much in quarter 3, so I only listened to about 2 hours, and now we are a total of 78 and a half hour. And I have to admit, it is still possible to hit my goal, but it's going to be real hard, especially if I show you the rest of that. So if I want to hit the benchmark of 150 hours, then I would have to listen to around 45 minutes per day until the end of the year. That's for listening, so we continue with the hours of studying, and there are the goal is 250 and we're at 145 and a half. And that means I still have a 104.5 open, and that would mean I have to do about 1.25, so 1.25 hours per day until the end of the year. I mean, that's only, I say only, but it's half an hour more than the listening. So I would have to do the listening and then half an hour more. But we are still not finished what I have to do to reach this goal. So I won't change goals. It's right now it's just hit or miss for the rest of the quarter, and I think I can a little bit more push myself a little bit more if I keep these goals, but they're going to be hard to reach. Then we have the next goal was to read 2 books. I actually started to read 1 book and I wrote it down. I have about 12% of it read, and I'm a little fighting actually because it's kind of hard to understand. I can't really read for a long period. It's just my mind can't focus so long on reading Japanese yet, so I'm still building on that. But I still have to read 1.5 or more than a half book to reach that goal, and I haven't yet decided what's the second book should be. So maybe it will only be 1 book, but we'll see. And the last was to speak with a native, and that's already checked off. That's everything for my Japanese goals. Now let's continue with Spanish. In Spanish, I had 3 goals. First was to have 150 hours of listening, and I'm at 44.5-ish hours, which means there's still 105.5-ish hours missing from the listening. That means about 1 hour and 15 minutes per day until the end of the year to finish that. Then we have a second goal is 200 hours of studying, and we are at 74.5-ish hours. that still leaves 125.5 hours open. And that would mean I have to do 1.5-ish hour per day until the end of the year to have 200 hours reached. And that's only 15 minutes more than the listening, but because we also have the Japanese, if we add that up, we have an hour of listening daily, and no, 2 hours of listening daily, because we have, yes, 2 hours of listening daily, and on top of that, another half hour of studying. No, another 45 minutes of studying. And that's only Spanish and Japanese. So we will see if that works. We had a third goal in Spanish that was reading books, and I wanted to read two. I'm actually reading right now two books, or I started them. The first I finished 10% of it, the second I finished 8% of it. The first is the second part of Harry Potter. I think it's called Harry Potter y la Cámara Secreta. And the second book is Juego de Asesinos. And I love the German version of that book. And it's a thriller, and it's a little bit hard for me to read because I don't have the vocabulary needed for reading a thriller or for reading something about detectives and so on. So that's a little bit hard still, but we are working on that, and I hope I will finish both of them until the end of the year. And yeah, that's everything for Spanish. Let's continue with English. In English, I had two goals. The first was to read 4 books, and I finished one book. And as I mentioned last time, I'm reading two, but now I'm reading three. I actually the two I'm still reading from last quarter. I didn't finish any of them, and now I read another one. So we had the Rust book I mentioned. That's about a programming language, and I'm taking my time because I want to understand and use the things I learned from that book. But I'm at 68% with that, so hopefully I can finish it until the end of the year. Then I have Moonwalking with Einstein. That's the new book I started this quarter. Well, actually, I started this month, and I don't think I'm going ever to use memory championships or so, or dual championships, but I still think the book teaches something good, and that's how to improve your memory, or everyone can improve your memory. And I think it's the same with languages. Everybody can learn a language, so I think that's quite relevant. And yes, then we have the second goal for English, that is to study each month. And I actually did do that. I'm still good with that. And that's everything for English. So let's continue with German. German, I had 3 goals. The first was to read 10 books. I'm actually right now at 3 books and 2.5 books. But I have 3 books read, and I have 2 books I'm currently reading. Actually, right now, as I'm recording this video, I actually have read 4 books, but that's not the point. The point is, at the end of the third quarter, I had 3 books read and 2 open. The fourth book and the fifth book I'm currently reading. The Fourth book is actually the same as last time. I still haven't finished it yet. So the half book last time, it wasn't really half because right now I'm still at 41%. Anyway, the fifth book, that was at 36% on the last day of September. I finished. That was Magic Cleaning from Marie Kondo. And no, I don't use the method. I was just reading the book and kind of find it interesting. And some of the aspects she uses, I think they're good, and some of them I think it's kind of over the top. But that's my personal opinion, so everyone can decide for themselves if they want to do that or not. So the second one was to read daily or every other day. I'm still not really good at that. Again, this is always over the whole time, and I'm like at 30%, and for the whole time, so for whole 2024 until now. Why did I say 2025? Anyway, so until last of September, I had read 30% of the days, which is not very much. And well, I hope I can improve that. And then the third was to study every month, and I didn't reach that, unlike in English. I missed one day at the beginning of the year, and I missed one month at the beginning of the year, and I missed 1 month in quarter 3, and I didn't even realize until I noted down the data for this quarter update. But anyway, so I missed that. And that's everything for the goals. And then we have the total time. And actually, the total time is kind of a little bit sad. So I have the total time from quarter 1, quarter 2, and quarter 3. And quarter 1 and quarter 2 are both over 100 hours. But quarter 3 is kind of sad. In quarter 3, I only have all the languages I study. I kind of only have 80 hours. And that's 20 hours less than in the other quarters. And normally quarter 3 is the highest quarter. So, well, also I kind of didn't study half of October. I didn't study any language because I was lazy. But anyway, that's everything for today, and now you can check out if there is another video linked up here in the corner, or you can check out my channel if there is anything that is interesting for you.